Okay, we are back. Welcome to part 2 of the transmutation of ancestral patterns. I can tell you about an ancestral pattern that I have that has been a little difficult to break because it's connected to this. So my people, particularly from my mother's side, they are not only them, but the tribe, the Bazopon tribe, they are this very calm people. When you go to the Sopon region, they're very ancestral. You often find when you're passing the homes, people sitting under trees, just relaxing. And then when it's time to go cook, they go cook and come back and relax and chat with each other under the trees. That's the tribe. It's like one of the most relaxed, almost too relaxed people. They don't have a sense of agency, which is something I have. And I'm bringing this up because I have moved into my new place for more than 24 days, and I still haven't connected the Wi-Fi. It's something I need, but I don't have that sense of agency to actually apply the process. It's like the application form is so long that I was like, I can just use mobile data, right? I will apply when I have time. It's that sense of agency. I've noticed it in myself. So that's what an ancestral pattern is. It's just a way in which you behave and a way in which you think it's a continuity of how your people think and behave. Right? And there are some ancestral patterns. I mean, because of this ancestral pattern that I just spoke about the Bazopon tribe, my mother's lineage, I am also a very calm person. So during chaos, I am the best person to have around because I will be chilled and we will find a solution. I don't panic a lot, right? But sometimes I do need to panic. I think that's what some of my friends, because my friends are like always on the move, and they always used to really tell me, Joy, you have no sense of agency. We need to hurry. And I'm like, okay, can I feed my dog at first? And they will get so frustrated. Anyway, back here. I don't remember really where we ended with part 2, but I believe it was about understanding how the first 21 years are the times of imprinting, and how you are either in a vow of loyalty or a vow of rebellion, and how the invitation truly for you as a genetic path cutter is actually to transcend your vows of loyalty and your vows of rebellion that don't serve you, that don't serve the evolution of your bloodline, the evolution of the living generation. There are some vows of loyalties that are good, in the same way that there are vows of rebellions that are good. A vow of rebellion that is good, for example, is if you come from a family where there was luck, maybe that's financial luck, and you decide you will never ever not have money, and you work hard to not have money, that vow of rebellion is the one that is making you want to change that pattern, right? So in that regard, that vow is good, the vow of rebellion. However, so in the vow of loyalty, if for your example, your people marry, like that, you are a family of marriage and you are in a vow of loyalty, you could actually marry and be in a union because that's what your people do, and that's a vow of loyalty. And if this marriage goes well, that's good. The problem will be if you stay, even though you are not, it's dangerous for you to be there, there's no evolution there, you are in a karmic trap, then the vow of loyalty keeps you there. Then you are not actually in the building of your ancestral legacy. You are actually degenerating, going backwards, perpetuating a pattern that is not healthy, because this is how we have actually stuck with things that don't serve not only us, but our community. It's where we perpetuate patterns for the sake of this is what we do here. We don't divorce. People don't go for therapy in our family when they're not well, you know, and whatever ideas we believe in. So as, for example, one really truly us Black people, we have so many vows that we make, that our ancestors had to make these vows because sometimes these vows are what helps you survive. But right now, you as the genetic path cutter, you are here to break some of these vows of loyalty and rebellion, right? And this is across the board, across what you know to be one of the biggest problems for your bloodline. If your bloodline, and this is how you know what is the pattern, that is your incarnational cross that you're here to bear. What you do is you look at this generation, your mother's generation, your grandparents' generation, and your great-grandparents' generation. The first three. This is where you're going to see a lot of these patterns. Of course, actually, the incarnational cross that you bear, it is what we call Sacred Code 777, which means we are greatly influenced by 7 generations behind us, right? And we are influenced by, and we will influence the 7 generations before, ahead of us, after us. Right? So that code is important to know. So typically when we're doing ancestral healing, a lot of the time in the beginning, we're healing that first 7 generation, but we often see a lot of the most active patterns with mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother. Or I shouldn't say mother, as if the grandfathers don't actually influence you. The grandfathers and they as well influence you. Your father's bloodline, their patterns also influence you. They influence us differently. In our incarnational cross, we do tend to bear more of the ancestral patterns of our mothers compared to our fathers. 60% our mothers and 40% our fathers. In the ancestral patterns from our mothers that influence us are matters of fertility, sexual energy, wombs. If you're a woman, a lot of that, what you inherit, the state of your womb will be the state of your mother, your grandmother, and your great-grandmother. The issue that they went through are likely to come through you from your mother's side. Your grandmother from your father's side does influence you as well, but not so much with regards to your fertility. That fertility is from your mother's side, right? Are you with me? Does that make sense? And so everything to do with fertility, children, everything to do with how you magnetize the kind of like the opposite sex is from your mother's side, right? Your sensuality template, mother side, beauty template, mother side. So all that feminine, you are greatly influenced by the feminine field when it comes to your fertility as a woman. And the same is true also for the man as well. Even your fertility is influenced by your mother's side as well. Then your ability to have children, how many is from that side, right? So when you have womb issues, what you want to do is look at what has been happening to my mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother. And then you look at your aunts, your cousins, female cousins, see the patterns there. What kind of afflictions do they have? What is their relationship to their body? What is their relationship to their sexuality, to their sensuality? Because you are likely to be like them, right? And to be in a vow of loyalty. Relationship between mother-daughter, also greatly influenced by by the maternal, right? So you'd see that, oh, the daughters and the mothers here, they're either always fighting, or the first daughter always ends up being the one who takes care of everyone, or the one who ends up like just not being part of the family they leave and. So you want to look into that. So if you are a mother of daughters, you are definitely influencing those children, particularly in how they will relate with the feminine, and they are also receiving the imprint of your relationship with your own mother and the relationship of your mother and her mother. You see? Yes. Are you with me? And then when it comes to marriage, that's your father's line, right? Your father's lineage. Think of how we celebrate marriages in Africa, how it is the father, like the children, they take the father's name, you know, and how that the males are quite active during the proceedings of marriages, right? This is not just something we're doing for the sake. Its origins is from spirit. Its origins is from the hierarchies of spirit. It's understanding that the bloodline of your father does influence the marriage template you will marry into. And so even the man you are attracted to, you would want to look at the man your mother was attracted to, who happens to be your father, because that's how you're born, right? But maybe if they're not together, the other ones who came after that as well, they do influence you. Patterns of marriage, no marriage, divorce, often from father line. Those patterns are influenced by the father line. So if you are wondering, like the issues you have, whether in being married, not being married, or divorced, where do you need to focus in healing? You focus in your father's line, mostly. Doesn't mean the mother doesn't also influence you, but it's mostly the father line. And this is for both men and women. Are you with me? Oh, you guys are writing this, but I'm not seeing them. Okay. Thank you, loves. Let me get my charger going. Okay. So your father's line is definitely responsible for that marriage, or it influences greatly the conditions of your marriages, whether you get married or not, and so on. So in general, most of us, we tend to go into the vow of loyalty. So few of us rebel. And often it's the genetic path cutters who will rebel, who will be like, I don't like this pattern. I will not do this pattern. Even way before you may begin your healing, you're always attuned to the fact that you are the pattern breaker. You are here to come and break the pattern that does not serve you, that does not serve the continuity of your ancestral gifts, your ancestral leadership, ancestral codes and blueprints, that does not serve the ancestral legacy that you and your entire bloodline are actually collectively here to build, to bring into manifestation in the planet Earth, right? So for us to build legacy is not just about the money, right? Building generational wealth, that's what people think. But for example, a family is one of the greatest legacy, to give your children the experience of having mother and father there and having happy children and happy marriages. In fact, for the Black community, we are yet to register that the greatest legacy we could ever give to this race is the Black family together, men and women together, building family, happy, developing, healing together to make our children. That is the greatest legacy we're here to build. It is the greatest template. It's the most original template that was given to the children of Earth, of Gaia, right? But when we look at what's happening in our families, that is not the legacy we're seeing. There's a lot of disconnection. Why? Why is there disconnection? For example, with the Black race, when you look at the trauma that has happened to Black people in the last 500, yes, you can see how one of our most greatest legacy has degenerated and collapsed, which is family, right? And that is where we are at right now. This is the most densest or darkest part of our civilization or the experiences of this cycle, this ascension cycle, right? And yeah, we are here to come and break those patterns. And what needs to happen is for us to awaken to these patterns, because we take them for granted. We just think it's life, it's not a big deal, but it really does have to register that it is a big deal. We are meant to build these logos of love and family and community really actively. And we are here to be the ones who are changing that. If they may have been a degeneration in your family, where maybe the degeneration is that people do marry but they divorce, or people do marry but they are in horrible marriages, or people don't marry at all, right? Those are degeneration. They are not a reflection of what source God has created you to come and experience. That is not the divine logo, right? And we're not thriving for marriage for the sake of thriving to get married. We are really thriving because we come to a deeper understanding that this is how we were created. This is the highest level of expression we can be in. And it's the highest level of evolution currently for Earth. That to return to the higher world, we are going to have to return collectively within the unions and the units, the family units that we belong to. But we are all going together. Ubuntu, that's where that logo comes from. The idea that you come into a family and you will bear both the pain of that family, also the gift of that family. And it is your duty. And I must say, I'm one of the few people who think this way, so don't take me seriously because I'm pretty intense. But it is your duty to come and transmute the ancestral pain into the gifts, into the legacy, into the magic. Yes. You could also just really relax and try another lifetime. Yes, okay. So, okay, Lauren, you're asking about financial patterns. So your father's bloodline is also responsible for financial patterns because the masculine is the builder, right? They are here for provision, protection, leadership, and devotion. That's the masculine. And so because one of the most fundamental gifts that the masculine has is provision, to provide, how we learn to relate to provision, and provision currently in the earth is dependent on this thing we call money, right? So your relationship with money, financial patterns are greatly influenced by your father's financial patterns, the ones he had, and also greatly influenced by what is happening in your father's bloodline, right? You will inherit those. Although, of course, you may get imprinted also by your mother's side, but the father line influences you the most with your money. So if you're having the money thing, you want to look into your father's bloodline. What is happening with the people there? How do they make their money? What sustains them, right? And what vows do they have with money, right? So, and this is so important, like what I'm one of the reasons why I want to share this information with people is we can get so caught up in thinking that a certain thing is just something that started with us and it's on us, which is not true. Most of the time, things they are your incarnational cross, you are carrying them, and you just continue them without this deeper awareness that you're continuing them. And until you understand you're continuing them, you can then stop continuing them. So if the financial patterns from your father's side is like, it's just lack, there's no resources here, we don't build wealth here, then you might find yourself just being comfortable with that. And it is now your duty and honor to come and change that, right? So financial patterns, are they your calling? Yes, there are some. Listen, all ancestral patterns are your calling. The most predominant pattern you see from your mother and your father's side, the one that creates more pain for you, is probably your greatest calling. It is what you are here to change and transmute the most. If it's money, then definitely that's where you're supposed to be focused. If it's relationships, that's where you're supposed. If it's motherhood, if it's career, that's where you're supposed to be focusing. If it's mental health, that's your cross. Doesn't mean it's easy. I think the incarnational cross comes from human design, and I like this word because it's like the cross that Yeshua had to bear, to carry for the ascension of humankind. From that story, at least that's what you can pick and learn from it, right? So even you, the elevation of your bloodline is, you carry it, you are carrying it. You have no idea how you're suffering. Through your suffering, you have the potential to come and transmute your entire lineage, right? As in, like, if you come from a family where people never saved money, never made money, then you decide, I am going to learn money, I'm going to master money, and I'm going to be good at money and at wealth creation. And you become that person, you manifest that. Your vow of rebellion pulled you to that. You open up a new timeline for your entire lineage, when now creating wealth is possible. The next generation, the next 7 generations are going to be influenced by that action. Your life will become a testament for that generation, even if they never really know your name, but you would have shifted your entire lineage in that regard, you know. So yes, that's it. that's the answer, Lauren. Okay. So we are saying the vow of rebellion of financial freedom. If currently your lack still does not change, can you change the direction? See, I don't exactly believe in luck. I do know that there are certain people who are gifted, certain bloodline who are gifted with certain things, but luck sounds like it's some kind of like God decided to give this person luck and this person, you don't get the luck. It insinuates some kind of specialness, you know, and some kind of I've been trying and I didn't get the thing, so I have run out of my luck, you know. And yeah, there is something very, very manipulative about the idea of luck, as if like not only manipulative, but it feels that God feels not true to me, like a God who gets to give others, say, okay, you've worked hard, I'm going to change your luck now. No, that is not the fundamental way in which we create reality. I'm sorry, that's not what you asked, but I kind of like focus on certain words like that, mostly because what we do believe does shape what we do experience, right? So let me read your question again. What if currently your luck still does not change, can you change the direction? So I had a great conversation with my client yesterday, and I liked what I shared with him. So ancestral patterns, they exist and are continued and influenced by the unconscious realm. So there is a version of yourself, the conscious one listening to me right now, who can come to me and say, Joy, I want to be a millionaire. I grew up in my family without money. I really want to be a millionaire. And this is your conscious desire. And then the same you, when money comes in, you send it out, you give it to people, you borrow people. Every month, you never have money until month end comes. What is making the difference or the discrepancy between your desire to have money, to actually break the pattern of luck, and the actual behavior, the way you behave, the actual pattern of your finances? The difference between that is like, there is your conscious intentions and desires, and then there is the unconscious realm, which is actually the one that is controlling your experience, your reality. So in science or even in psychology, they say we use 10% of the conscious mind and 90% is existing in the subconscious mind. So meaning even really 10% of, that which you desire and your reality, how you create your reality, only 10% of it is conscious to you. The actual thing that does create your reality, if you reference my live stream episode on the creation of personal reality, this will make sense. That is in the unconscious, to that which you are not aware of. And what is that which we are not aware of? It's where these ancestral patterns are existing. It's where these vows are existing. So even though you consciously want to be a millionaire, you have a vow of loyalty, which is in your unconscious, which is the vow of loyalty is that your great-great-grandfather once said, because we're people of God, we are not meant to come and make money here. Making money is not holy. So us as a people, we are okay with being poor because we will experience abundance when we return back home to the higher world. Obviously, grandfather did not say it like that, but that's something like that, similar to that. And that vow was so big, it's been traveling through the bloodline, and you, unaware to your mind, you keep believing in this thing that grandfather said a long time ago. Unconsciously, you have a vow of loyalty to what he said. That is why even when you keep getting promoted, even when your money keeps doubling, it still feels like you don't have money. Because what is driving you is that vow. And every time more money comes, you find more ways to release it. Because you have a vow that we are not meant to have money, we're meant to suffer. Suffering is a reflection of how good I am and how I will enter the gates of heaven. So I would rather be poor. If I win the lotto, I would rather collapse that money very quickly. And within 3 months, I don't have the money anymore, because not having money is actually safe to you. And that safety, your sense of safety exists in the realm of the unconscious. You may actually think you feel safer having more money, but in reality, when that money comes, you start having anxiety, you start getting worried, and you have an upper limit. There's a certain amount of money you are comfortable with. $1 million out of nowhere. What am I going to do with that? Oh my God, I'm going to get bewitched. And then you find ways to release that money. So it's not about luck. It's actually really about mathematics. It's about it's about patterns. It's a pattern. So can you change the direction? Yes, you can change the direction. How do you change the direction of your ancestral patterns, financial patterns, love patterns, career patterns? How do you change them? You have to come to a deeper understanding that these patterns, their origins, are not in the mind you use most of the time. They are deeper in the unconscious realm. So you have to go to your unconscious realm to find out what is there, what is existing, what are these stories, these beliefs, these emotions that are existing, that you picked up in the first 21 years of your life and that you picked up from your ancestry that you inherited. And then from there on, that's when you can transmute them. And how do we transmute them? We transmute them in the unconscious as well. We have to change them in that realm And then that will ripple out into the physical, right? This is where the idea of affirmation comes from, although the idea of affirmation is incomplete. And yeah, no. If you try to just go affirm and say, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I'm wealthy, and nothing happens, that's because you can't trick the unconscious realm. You can't bypass it. You can't give it information it already has other information on. You literally have to go to your unconscious realm and say, hey, listen, I know for a long time we've believed that it's not possible for us to actually be abundant. But from this moment forward, we are actually starting to believe that we can be abundant. Can we update this information? And your conscious realm will be like, yeah, sure. But most of us, we don't know how to connect and relate with our unconscious realm like that. But it's a very real realm. It's so powerful. It makes up your personal reality. Right? Yes, Lorraine. Yes, right. In fact, when it comes to money, that one is so big for the entire human race, but also really truly for the Black race as well. Yeah. So in the unconscious realm, it's where your inner child exists. The guardian of your unconscious realm is firstly your inner child. Which child? The one who was there at 0, 7, 14, 21. Your inner child and your inner teen, but primarily the inner child. Right? What I find about the inner teen is that there's something very warrior-like about our inner teen. They really fight to make us safe. You know, that part of you that sometimes like fights back, that's often our inner child, our inner teen. And the inner teen doesn't come as often as our inner child. The inner child is, yeah, the guardian of the unconscious realm, because the unconscious realm is greatly influenced by age 7 to 14, which is what the emotional body, when we were building our emotional body. So what we want to do is we need to go back to those ages. What was happening in your life from age 7 to 14, 0 to 7, 7 to 14. And then, for example, with money, for example, you want to look at what was the experiences in my home during this time with money. Was there lack of it? How did people respond here when there wasn't lack of it? Did I always see my mother stressing? And how did she deal with that lack? And look at how that influenced you. Did you make a vow of loyalty to be just like mom? And women, particularly daughters, tend to go into vow of loyalty. I think it's a sisterhood thing here that we have, feeling like you don't want to betray your mother by being good at money. So you're also going to not be good at money, just like her, so that then you are both not good, and then she doesn't feel alone in her struggle and in her pain. Yeah. So what you want to do is look into that. And if you have made a vow, so some of the vows, we make them actually vocally, like not out loud. You don't have to, oh, I vow in this moment to be poor. But it's more of the way I've discovered vows. It's like something happens to you, you know, and you could either say it in your mind that I will never ever visit my friend after something bad happened after you visited them. And from that moment on, after that, you find that you don't like to visit your friends based on one incident that happened with that one friend and their mother or something, right? And it's something that you did not realize. It's so powerful that it gets recorded in your Akasha, that from that moment forward, you start functioning like that's a truth. That is how you're supposed to be. That is how powerful vows are. Some of them, we don't remember making them. In fact, most of them, we don't remember making them. That's why we have to go retrieve specific moments and emotions we were feeling. And what did we vow then? And then we need to change back those vows, create one, release them, heal them, and make new ones in that moment, right? And moving forward, this is one of the things my teacher taught me. Just be super aware of vows you're making. Don't make vows. You know, we make vows all the time. Like, you hear a story of a friend, you're like, oh, it could never, I will never ever be this person. That's a vow. That's a vow you're making. So yeah, that's what you need to do. I mean, I have kind of like created a process of doing that, I have mastered the process of how to change how to access the unconscious realm and change these vows. It's part of how I also support people. Someone once asked, do I ever do like, can you book a once-off session for like a mother wound? And you can do that. Just have to tell me that's what you like to work on. Yes. So, but at home, if you don't have joy, what do? The unconscious realm is accessed through delta waves, right? So there is, I might be mixing up this. Generally, right now, you are possibly in the alpha wave. Your consciousness it's conscious or existing in a certain frequency. And to go to the unconscious realm, you have to drop it lower and you have to go deeper, right? And that's where the role of meditation comes in, because we're shifting from alpha to delta, or it could be from delta to alpha. I might be mixing them. Don't hold me accountable to this. But essentially, it's moving from one wave to another. And when you are in that wave, you are able to access the unconscious realm. And in that unconscious realm, that's when you can heal something. So, and access memory, access the morphogenetic field. And it is also still in this same process where we can access the origin of a pattern. So typically for me, what I do in my process is, if you have like a vow around, let's say, financial patterns, as we're saying, I am still able to take you to which ancestor started this pattern. We can go that far. We can actually connect with that consciousness. We can connect with an ancestor. They can show us what was happening, what made them create that vow. And then we ask this ancestor, please look at how this vow has been influencing the entire generation. And then we ask ancestor, can you please release this vow? And ancestor can release the vow. And when they liberate themselves, they are liberated the entire lineage, right? So that would be ancestral miasma timeline work. It still works the same in that we go into the the delta wave, this deep state of relaxation. Of course, this is also based on how much you have built your quanta, your energy, your life force to be able to travel through time to connect with your ancestors. So it may not be easy the first time, right? I mean, it also took me a couple of years to master this process of connecting, but it's what you are capable of. Every single one of you can do this. You can travel through time, through your body, because your body is portals. It's made up of stargates. You have no idea how powerful this is. What we call the temple of God. You literally are the temple of God. And through this temple, you can go anywhere, right? So that is how we go into the unconscious realm. The transmutation has to happen in the unconscious realm. And it's so sad that religion has made us afraid of meditation, for example, because it is the fastest way to build up your contact to be able to do what I'm saying right now. Going into great stillness is actually shifting from one wave to another. And the deeper you can go, the deeper you can travel. Or the deeper you can go, the higher you can travel. The more you can connect with our ancestral helping spirits, the more you can connect with the angelic beings and guardian families and higher beings with obviously who are in alignment with sacred law and who are within the ascendant timeline, right? And that's another conversation for another day. But what I can tell you truly, transmutation of all patterns happens through divine alchemy. It is through the touch of the Holy Mother, the hand of the Holy Mother, literally ordaining and dispensing divinity, divine frequencies, and say, we will lift this curse for these people. I mean, they don't say that, but I imagine it in that way, right? And so we have to learn to connect with divinity. And how do you connect with divinity? You first have to learn to connect with your divinity. You can't skip accessing your own divinity and jump into ancestral divinity, to angelic divinities. And I know for most people, this is what we were taught. And that's why it feels like there's no change, because it is difficult to discern true divinity, true ancestors and not so true ancestors, helpful ancestors and not so helpful ancestors, because we have not learned yet to do it through our own being. This is why transmutation has to happen through you. And it has been said by many sages, masters, the kingdom of God is within you. The gateway to God is within you. The gateways to the ancestors is not at the mountain, the river, or in that woman's house, Ndomba. It's you. You are the gateway. And so you transmute this energy by learning to go within. And then once you go within, you learn to go deeper, right? And going deeper for me feels like a dropping deeper and deeper into the body. And here's the thing about our ancestral pain. Our ancestral pain can be so big that being in the body is so painful. And that's something we have to learn first to be. You have to learn to be in your body. And once you're in your body, then you can begin to access different realms organically with nothing, no assistant from any tool, from any music, from anyone. This can be done because I did it that way. And that is the organic way, the most natural way. We were not dropped into this planet to then have to figure out technologies and medicines that can help us do what I'm saying. Those medicines, they can accelerate and support. Tools can accelerate and support. Another person can accelerate and support you. But if it has not yet dropped in that you are your own healer, it's going to be very difficult. You will be trapped in always going to this healer and this healer and this healer, and there's never true transformation. All healers must return you back to yourself, because divine dispensation is done in your body through your being. Right? Does that make sense? Are we live streaming on Facebook? Oh, I forgot. Oh, okay. Okay. So yes, that's what happens. I automatically step out of meditation because it's still a scary place for me. Yes. So meditation or breath work, it is scary because why the body is a temple and why the body is one of the most brilliant technologies you have, far more advanced than a computer or any app, any technology that could ever be created. Your body is that powerful because your body is holding all of time. So all the emotions you've ever felt, experiences you've ever went through, they are in your body. They are recorded in your DNA that is alive in your body. They are recorded in your blood. That is why Africans figured out a long time ago that transmutation is in the blood. That's why bloodlines are important to us. That's why ancestry is important to us, not for any other reason that you were taught, but that truly this is the way through to the higher worlds. It's through the body. And what is the body? It is that which you inherited. Is the vessel that is an accumulation of your mother and your father's strength and right? So the traumas we went through in our childhood, they're here. They didn't go anywhere. They're stored in the body. So when you close your eyes and you bring your awareness to the body, look at how I drop. I drop quickly the moment I do that. Oh my God. Let me not do that. All that pain becomes alive and you can feel it and it becomes scary. And this sometimes, because we don't know yet what's happening, it may look like you're seeing different images, or it's literally physically painful to just be present in the body. So that's where you start to transmute. You have to learn to be in your body. And even it doesn't even have to be like in meditation. You could just learn to lie down for 10 minutes, put on the alarm for 10 minutes and just sit still. The first time you're going to have a monkey mind, you're going to be all over, you're going to feel so much discomfort and it takes time. It takes time, right? But the more you do it, the more you get better. I have been on, I've been doing meditations for 12 years now. And I've been doing it half of that 6 years every day, the last 6 years, every single day. Before that, I would do once a month and then I'll be like, oh, I can't, I'm done. It took 6 years to get too consistent, right? So give yourself some slack if it's difficult. It takes time. It's every time you go into the body, you interact with all those ancestral pains and your own pain. So if you understand what it is, great. If also you can't sit still, there's also using the breath and then moving around in the house, just breathing, but becoming aware of the physical body. But with movement, it's less painful and less scary, right? So just move around your room and just keep focusing on the breath and keep touching your body, keep feeling it and tell it, I'm alive, we're here in the present moment, we're okay, right? And for 10 minutes, just practice with something that is less scary for you. And as time goes on, you will get better at it, right? Yes. There was a question here. Thank you, Pindi. So Kayla, you are asking, because someone did ask me to always read these questions and I forget. Okay, here's the question. How do you transmute trauma from the emotional body? Is it different from healing the spiritual body? And is the emotional energetic bodies the same thing? Or the emotional and energetic bodies the same thing? We actually have many different bodies, and these bodies collectively can be called our energetic bodies or our subtle bodies, but they are at least like, I mean, some people say we have like 7 subtle bodies. There are that many, 7, yes, we have 7 subtle bodies. So the emotional body is one of the energetic bodies, is one of the subtle bodies that we have, right? And the subtle bodies, I will teach on them actually. That should probably be in the next class. We'll talk more about these different subtle bodies and what's stored there. But the emotional body is where all of our emotional terrains and experiences are stored, right? It's an actual etheric energy that you can feel. Certain people can feel this and sense it and the spiritual body, when people are referring to the spiritual body, it's beyond the emotional body. Your spiritual body is where your spirit resides, And our spirit body is not, it's not in the emotional body, like it's beyond, it's further, a little further. The emotional body is closer to the physical body, right? Yes. So transmuting, is healing the spiritual body similar to healing the emotional body? No, it's that different things. And typically it's not really that people are healing the spiritual body unless that spirit, the actual spirit, has went through trauma itself, then we heal the spiritual body. But most of the time, on average, most people have to heal the emotional body, and the spiritual body would transform and match up the new emotional body, right? The spiritual body is also called the monadic body. So it's the realm of the highest aspect of you. That's where it's residing, the highest aspect of you. So the highest aspect of you does not have to be healed. It's okay. It's pure and it's innocent. It's still holding its divinity. Your spirit self or spirit body, it's that part of you that is pure, that is here, that is divine, that can never really truly ever be killed by anything in this planet, right? But the emotional body can be wrecked by this planet, devastated by this planet. And in fact, most of our emotional bodies are in such dire conditions. So the transmutation of trauma in the emotional body, it's a process of really coming into awareness of your emotional experiences and getting to understand you are an emotional being. You don't get to just shut down. You don't get to just move on from a situation. When you go through a trigger, that matters. That trigger is recorded by the emotional body. When you go through trauma, that trauma is not just released, it's stored in the emotional body. So transmuting the trauma begins with that deeper awareness that every single thing that has ever happened to you, it's alive in the emotional body. And constantly, some of these things, they come up. So sometimes when you are triggered, it's the emotional body that's triggered. It's a pain from 7 years ago that just got triggered. So it's not actually the fight you are in. You are fighting with your partner because they didn't come on time. And you just know you hate it when people are late. Why? Because when you were 7 years old, your dad promised to come pick you up and he just arrived so late. And when he arrived, the thing you wanted to go to with him was no longer, it was closed, and you didn't go, and it devastated your inner child. And so ever since then, you hate it when people are late. It makes you feel like they will never show up, right? So you're fighting with your boyfriend. You think it's about his late coming today, but it's really about your father and how he didn't show up fully for you. So your boyfriend just opened up that wound. That's how much we have to become aware of our emotional body, of how it influences the current moments today. And these patterns we have, every person you call in, magnetize into your life, they are there to come and show you the contents of your emotional body, to reflect back to your trauma so you heal it. Does that make sense? Yes. So yes. So the transmutation of emotional body it's probably our most longest job to do in the beginning. But once you do it, everything else becomes faster and easier, truly. So that's why the inner child work is so important. That those 14 years are important for you to work on, right? And like I said, all transmutation is through the divine. If you're to pick something from what I'm saying, it's through the divine. We get stuck in thinking we need to use our mind to transmute our pain. The mind can't help you because the mind participated in creating the story you even have about that trauma. The mind is the one that made the vows. So how can it really truly help you to change the energies, the frequencies now? The mind is useful during healing. Definitely, it is what it will say, the new vows and. But all healing must have, true healing must have the presence of divinity in the room. This is why we call in divinity. This is why we invoke the divine. This is why we call in our inner spirit, and we call in the divine spirit of the Holy Mother, of the Holy Father. This is what is missing. Actually, for me, when I was in psychology, that is what was missing, because I thought I could heal people with just talking to them. And it turns out that does not really work. The divine, when we introduce the divine to healing, now that's when we will see miraculous healing happening. Because we surrender that we do not understand the true intricacies of the patterns we are holding. We don't know how far they go. We understand that we are continuing a job that those who came before us did. And only the divine is aware of those patterns. If you can move from today knowing that a lot of the things that you think are just you are continuing task, ancestral task of your uncle, of your aunt, of your mother, of your grandmother, you are continuing them through your life. And that's why we have to keep bringing in that luminous support, but also working with our own divinity, like our own inner spirit, not God, not the bigger God, not our bigger ancestors, but you are also the divine spark, right? So as the divine spark, you need to also involve and engage that divinity, because with all that you have ever been through, you see the thing that makes you wake up every single day? No scientist could ever tell you what it is. There's no machine that could measure what that thing is. That is your divinity. And that is what you want to engage. The thing that makes you wake up even after the most horrible thing that has ever happened to you. That impulse, that spark, that's what you want to work with. And so if you are like you're saying, Palisa, I struggle with how to heal childhood trauma. I literally don't know what to do when I sit there on divinity. Do I go back to the event, or do I speak to the children in me? I always get stuck. Here's the thing. I mean, here's the problem with with currently Instagram, and how Instagram can make us feel like all of us actually really know how to heal inner child wounds. I can tell you this, you actually need to be trained in healing. I had to be trained as a psychologist for 4 years to understand some of the things I teach. So one, I would like you to release the idea that you are supposed to know how to heal your childhood trauma, in the same way that you do not stress yourself with not knowing how to do surgery on yourself. So the terrains we're talking about, they need specialists who learned how to heal them. So not everyone is aware and capable of truly healing that childhood trauma. There may be times where, not most of the time, we do need someone else to do that process for us. What you are able to do, though, is you can invoke your divinity. You can sit and you will say, the divinity of Joy Mohani, I am here and I'm in utter pain and I need you to come through, and you need to come and help me figure out how to heal this. You can pray. You can pray for yourself every single day. Say, there is so much anxiety in my body. Please help me. Please help me heal this anxiety. That you can do. You can soothe your inner child. You can talk to the body. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. I love you and I thank you. These are tools you can work with, right? You can, to tell the truth, for me, true transformation happened even as I have been trained in inner childhood healing, and I've been doing this for 12 years. The times I've actually seen transformation was when I worked with someone, because I can't see my own pain properly. I have blind spots, even as a specialist. So I had to get a healer to help me, because all this, sometimes I'm in session, I'm like, oh man, I need someone to come and do this for me, because something I can do for my client, it doesn't necessarily mean I know how to do for myself, right? Yeah, the kind of healing that I'm talking about, it's not necessarily some things I learned in my psychology training. No, what I'm talking about is something I learned with alternative teachers in mentorship. And some of it was literally spirit teaching me how to retrieve inner children, spirit teaching me how to do soul retrieval. I've never read a book. It just, I was in the middle of a session and spirit said, here, take this, do this for this client. You know, so here you may not need to work with traditional therapy, because traditional therapy does not necessarily engage with the emotional body. It engages with the mental body. It makes you talk and talk and talk and talk about the thing, but you never really move into feeling the thing. They don't teach you how to sit and feel the thing, to be with the pain. How would you transmute the, you can't speak the pain out. You have to feel it and then it can move. Yeah. So, yeah, I just really would like us to know that we can read all the things in the books, but that doesn't always mean, when it comes to actual transmutation, that honestly, if I'm telling the truth, it's similar to surgery. You have a trauma is as big as someone who had a car accident hitting their body and their bones breaking. That is how powerful trauma is. It's the same thing, except it happened to your subtle bodies. Something came and hit your subtle bodies and they are broken and there's internal bleeding. So how are you meant to do surgery on yourself? You have to go to the doctor who went to 12 years of training to come in, release the bones, heal the bones, and also be okay with the harder, like if it's a truck that hits someone, the longer that process of healing is going to be. So if you had trauma, continuous trauma for years, the longer it may take you. You can't do one session with joy and expect you to be fully healed, right? And what's really said, I understand what I'm talking about. In an ideal world, everyone should literally be doing what I'm talking about. You know, I really do wish that we can get to the point where our education system could train more people to heal in this way that I'm speaking about, you know, but that's not the case. And I also understand the idea of investing in our own healing. It's so new. We just think, people really genuinely think that they can figure out that emotional trauma and heal them by themselves, just because it's not, the pain was not tangible. We didn't see the trauma happening and hitting the subtle bodies. So we just think it's not a big deal. I can figure it out. I can go on YouTube, listen to Joy, and then I know how to heal. Every day I keep learning new ways of healing the inner child. Every day, I swear to you. 12 years later. So I just don't want us to take this so simply, like it's such a simple thing, right? But there is a lot you can still do for now. What you can do for someone who is yet to like have the enough funds to come in, work with a specialist, what I can tell you, you can do that will change your life. In the morning, 10 minutes, sit, and take a deep breath in and out. Have one hand, right hand in the higher heart, another hand in the womb area. And breathe. And repeat these words to yourself using your name. Joy Mohami, it is safe to feel. It is safe to feel. It is safe to be here. You are safe. And keep breathing. It is safe to feel. It is safe to be here. You are alive. And keep breathing. And keep breathing. And keep breathing. And keep doing this for 10 minutes. Just breathe. And allow the thoughts to come. Whatever may come, it is safe for that thought to come through. Whatever emotion that rises, whatever tension in the body, just breathe through it all. And if the tears come, let them come. If a headache comes, let it be. Just breathe and know that by the end of this 10 minutes, you will be okay. You will be alive. You would have survived it all. And just breathe. And sometimes if it feels aligned, you may take this time, especially towards the end, to pray to Source God and to release and let go of the pain that may have gotten activated by this breath. This is where you may say, Divine Source, Holy Mother, Holy Father God, please, please help me. Please support me with releasing this pain in my body, in my womb, in my hands. Please take away this anger, this sadness, this anxiety, this depression. I surrender it all to you, Source God. I ask you to send your divine dispensation into my living body and help me to process, to move through this pain, to move through this trauma. I give it all back to you, Source God. Please take it all back to you. And I thank you. I pay gratitude for your guidance and your support. And I request that you keep sending support through the living children that are in my life, and otherwise lead me to where I need to go so I may transmute this pain. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is. Ashe, Makos. And you may open your eyes. And repeat this process every morning or in the evening. Maybe in the morning you don't have time. You may do it in the evening. You start with 10 minutes. I want you to put the alarm, do 10 minutes every day. Then as time goes on, you do 15 minutes. Because the thing is, sometimes meditation is difficult because all of the thoughts. So instead of trying to meditate, just breathe. Focus on the breathing. The breathing will drop you into the body and it will be less scary because you can concentrate on your breathing instead of just the thoughts. But if thoughts come up, it's also okay. You're not trying to stop being you. If you are a person who thinks, so think, so that's where you can begin with your inner child work. When you're breathing, release all that pain back to Source God. And that's powerful practice. It will bring so much to you. And another time to particularly do this is when you are actually triggered. right? So if you had a really bad day, something big happened, this is the time to go and do this breathing exercise. This breathing exercise can be done also walking around in the house. Just keep holding the two centers and the higher heart as well as the womb sacral point for the man as well. You also have a sacral womb, a sacred womb there, right? So you want to also do the same. And yeah, you can walk around, right? And the concentration is on the breathing. And particularly when you're triggered, what you want to do is don't escape the emotions. If there's a lot of anger or sadness or grief, just allow yourself to feel that and let that move through you. You may cry, tension may come into the body. So here's the thing, most of us, we quit when the pain comes and we think it's not supposed to be there. It's okay for it to be there. In fact, the first couple of times it may be so intense, you think, oh my God, why did Joyce tell me to do this exercise? It's horrible. Trust me, I know, I hated it. I used to have headaches all the time when I was doing that. But now this is one of my most powerful practice that I just love so much with processing emotions. Yeah. Okay, I hope that I have answered you all. Let me know your thoughts and experiences as well today. Yay. So thank you, everyone. Yes, Akona, you're saying this is the truth. It takes time to heal. It took you saying it more than 5 times for me to get it, that we have our lifetime as well as other lifetime to continue this healing work. Yes. So there is so much time. There is so much time. So thank you all for joining me today. We are here every Thursdays. Next week, Thursday, we won't be here because we will be doing Ancient Future Masterclass series. I hope to see you there. This is a great opportunity for you to come and do healing because I'm going to be taking you through healing processes and journey. So if you do not have yet the funding to receive my healing medicine, this is the time to come and receive that, right? So you can do that. And if you are wanting to begin just a once-off session with me, you can go to my website under Joy Mohami where it says start here and read there. Otherwise, what I am going to be doing for everyone where you have a greater opportunity to go deeper into inner child healing, particularly, and some ancestral healing, it's in April when we're going to do healing with the divine grandmothers, which is a 5-day course. And it is the most affordable course I will create. I'm truly creating it for everyone so that you have the ability to save for it and attend it. And my prime directive will be for those of us who are really wanting to begin healing in ways that are tangible and with my support as a specialist in inner child healing and ancestral healing. So you can look forward to that as well if you don't have yet the funds to do one-on-one work with me. This 5-day course, it's going to be, even to this day, I've done healing with divine grandmother. It's still one of those courses that my students keep going back to and they like, Joy, you have no idea the healing I've received from this. So I highly recommend that you check that out in April and join me for the healing. Yes, okay. So thank you, everyone. Have a great day. I will see you next week. Again, no, not next week, that other week for our next transmission, which will be on the subtle bodies. Good night.